everyone, today we are going to talk about the Microsoft SC-200 Security Operations Analyst certification. In this video, we'll walk you through the core domains of SC-200, including how to work with Microsoft Sentinel for threat detection and investigation, how to use Microsoft Defender XDR for incident response, and how to analyze security data using KQL queries. We'll also cover how to create analytics rules, automate responses using Playbook, and manage incidents effectively within the Security Operations Center environment. Along with that, we will share key exam areas to focus on and practical preparation tips to help you approach the certification with confidence. Let's dive in and break down SC-200 step by step.
Welcome you everyone in this webinar, detect and respond to the threats using Microsoft Security. We are going to discuss about how the detection and response is possible in real environment using several security products. We are going to focus Microsoft Security. Before starting this, let me introduce myself. From this side, I'm Microsoft Certified Trainer. I'm working as a tech lead here at CloudThat in Security Department. I have more than 8 years of experience in this training industry and deliver several types of training in Microsoft Security domain. My major area is XDR, that is again a threat detection and response tool, and Microsoft Sentinel. It's a quick introduction about me. So it's all about my small introduction. Now let's start what we are going to discuss today. Today we will focus a zero trust model, which is very, very important in security domain. How, with respect to zero trust model, we can achieve a detection and a response. We'll go with a little introduction of the XDR. It's a really very good tool that is extended detection and response, M365 Defender from Microsoft to understand detection and response parameter. Then we'll go with the core capabilities of threat detection and threat response with respect to the XDR. So let's start with the first, that is zero trust with Microsoft Defender. Now, what is the zero trust? So zero trust, it's saying trust no one and always validate and verify in your environment. Now, whenever we are going with the detection, usually in the security, our first things will be what type of detection you want, what exactly you want to detect, what exactly you want to validate, what exactly you want to verify, and at what level you want to do. During this process, what are those assets or locations where you are looking for the detection and automated response? It's coming with the zero trust model or a zero trust principle. How? Let's understand. We know the attacks are always increasing, and nowadays attackers are using a very sophisticated way with the help of artificial intelligence to design a very advanced attack. According to the research, it's saying like on daily basis, we have more than 1 lakh attacks as highlighted here in the slides. We have observed in April 2022 and April 2023 and many more in the previous year. There are many types of human-operated ransomware attack observed in the environment were highly targeted by the attacker. And those human-operated ransomware, it's critical for the organization for unmanaged devices. We do have several network-based attack, a social engineering-based attack like phishing and many more where attacker target the organization to create a problem. So the attacks are always going to happen, right? And they're always coming with a new sophisticated pattern with the help of latest technologies. So here, how we can manage those things or we can detect those advanced sophisticated attacks in the environment. Here, let's understand with the help of zero trust model. So a zero trust, it's saying that you need a very good detection in your environment, including several types of locations which can be targeted by the attacker. Now here are some of the locations highlighted, like your email accounts. We have endpoint devices will be your client and server machines. In environment, we have a user accounts, usually we call as an identity. We have different types of applications running now, generative AI applications used by different types of domain people, IT and HR, finance, and many more, marketing team. And we do have many types of workloads in the environments running in the backend on the cloud portal. There will be IoT devices, OT services, and many more. So this is called as a surface area, the locations which can be targeted by the attacker. Whenever we talk about detection, the detection it's not just limited to your device, it's not just limited to the email account, but it is related to the several types of locations which can be targeted by the attacker, small to the large. Will be a network, will be the workloads, and many other as highlighted here. So whenever we are going with the detection, we need a strong detection over all the pillars. I want all the organization machine to be protected. Doesn't matter who is using, will be the sales team or the marketing team, but I want those devices to be protected, their email accounts to be protected, their user accounts, their username and password, everything should be protected and managed. So to cover several types of large or broader surface area, let's understand how we can achieve with the help of a zero trust model. The zero trust model, it's coming with three different principles. One is verify explicitly. The second, it's list privilege access control. And third, that is assume breach. What you should validate, what you should control in terms of the access, or what kind of attack breaches that we need to control. It's depending on the pillars. We discussed pillars in the previous slides where surface areas which are targeted by the attacker. Going with those particular pillars, we have to go with these three strategies or the principles. The verify explicitly it's saying you have to validate and verify each and every parameters in your environment. You know what's going wrong so that we can respond faster. The SOC team, it's not just looking for the detection, but we need a faster response also. So verifying explicitly, it's saying there are several surface area need a very good or in detail verification about all kind of activities. Will be your endpoints logs, who is using, right? How it is being used, how long the devices are being used, remote access, what type of devices, groups access available, and many more. If we talk about user, how the sign-in logs are going to happen, what are the failures logs and their activities. Each and every pillar need a detailed or explicit verification and validation in the environment to identify key pointers or to know something it's going wrong or not. The second, it's saying list privilege access. That is another important pointers. Coming with a limited access control for privileged accounts. You will have privileged accounts like admin accounts, where they have a very critical operation access available, will be a read permission, write permission, modify, delete, and many more. So how those accounts require the protection or that account level detection we need. So we will going with the list privilege access, limiting the access control, and something happened wrong, we are thoroughly validating and verifying on those accounts. So a second will be limiting the access control. The third, where our focus is coming, that is assume breach. Assume breach, it's coming with a mindset, whatever the layer of protections you have set up in your environment, there is a possibility of having the attack in future. Because with that mindset, we are always coming with a new advanced protection and detection mechanisms. Like a very simple example, many applications are going to run in the environment and we do have application protection. We are monitoring the app, their traffics and everything. But now a new Gen AI app is coming and people started using generative AI. With the generative AI, you have a new surface area coming, will be a prompts issue or it will be a model related or prompt injection, could be anything. Right? Sharing the data, misusing your organization sensitive information, getting the access of data and many more. So we cannot just assume that with the traditional approach which we have set up to protect the application will work for the Gen AI based application. No. Generative AI need a different kind of detection and response mechanism. So assume breach, it's like a mindset that in the security, we have to go with this mindset to protect always my organization in the advance and to analyze what is going on. So we need a strong detection, we need a very good protection. So these three principles in the security, it's making your environment secure and giving you a very good insights about the activities going on in the backend. The security mechanisms are going to apply on all the pillars where a threat protection and detection is coming. It will be your user accounts, which is compromised, credential stuffing, or any other attack. It will be your endpoint based activity like a device compromise with a ransomware activity or something, a malware pattern. It will be the application where a data leak or mass download kind of activity performed, your infrastructure attack, network, or the data related. All layers or all pillars need this zero trust, three different principles for continuous monitoring and detection. So how we can achieve that? How we can make sure in my environment, all kind of pillars where the detection is there and a very advanced detection it's there, like AI based and machine learning. So this detections will be helpful to achieve Microsoft Defender XDR. What is this XDR? XDR, it stands for Extended Detection and Response. X for extended, D for detection, detecting, and R for responding on those particular detection. It's like taking the actions automatically, disabling the user account, isolating the devices, or getting the access back, right? Many other kind of things. Here, let's understand Microsoft Defender XDR, what it is and how the detections will be helpful to achieve. Microsoft Defender XDR, it's a unified portal, and this portal, it's designed for detection, prevention, investigation, and response. The response will be automated or manually, which you are taking as a SOC team. But both kind of response are possible to manage for advanced attack also. This Defender XDR cover a broader surface area where you will be able to manage your endpoint devices, identities, your email, and applications on a single dashboard where a SOC team can understand all the attacks pattern which are detected in terms of incident and alerts. The person will be able to investigate in detail what happened, what wrong, and you will be able to respond on those particular detection. It's identifying very advanced sophisticated attack and many kind of actions are taken in the backend. This is a one portal where you can manage everything. But this portal need an integration. So once you are connecting your devices, your applications are connected, your user accounts are part of that portal, it will start monitoring and coming with the detection. Let's see how we can go with the detection or what kind of detection it's required in the environment. Your detection will be a sophisticated or advanced attacks targeted by the attacker in your organization. Again, it's not just limited to your external attacks, but what if the employee is trying to perform the attack, which is the internal? We also have that kind of mechanism which will monitor your internal employees pattern, which is look like a malicious one, generating the alerts, and we can also perform the actions against those. So it's not just external threat areas, but we do have integration with the internal surface area, internal attack pattern on a same dashboard where the XDR is coming. So both kind of areas we are covering, the external and the internal. Now, let's understand how it's going to work and how we can achieve or what kind of detections we are getting here directly on the portal. So I'm sharing my whole screen now. Do let me know once it will be visible. Sharing my screen. It's the entire screen. Okay, let's understand here. The detection, it's coming with several types of attack pattern performed by the attacker. Have you ever observed, like whenever any attack performed, will it be a straightforward, like in a first attempt, the attacker will be able to perform the attack? No. There are several steps involved, several types of processes involved, and based on that, they will go succeed slowly, and then compromising your environment. We need that level of detailed detections. Whenever it is started from the first pointer to the ending, we need that all kind of detections in the environment as a SOC. So how we can achieve that? There are multiple phases involved. Let's talk about a very simple example. Like someone is trying to thief your house. It's not like a one-day process. They will visit the society, will identify the house, will understand like how many people are there, their working pattern, going to the office, their timing, right? So they will analyze several things, identifying the information, and whatever the information a person will collect, based on that, they will target your house for the robbery. So similarly, and in the attacking process, we do have this kind of steps involved. It was starting with the getting the information about the organization, like, okay, this XYZ organization I need to target. This is related to the banking sector or the education, like a university where this many universities are running. Getting several informations, collecting the employee's email ID, their phone number. Now they are going with some more kind of attack pattern. We'll be sending the emails, which is a phishing one, targeting the students for the university or targeting the faculties in the university domain. So that is a one-by-one process, getting the information, understanding it, targeting particular group of people, and then going with the actual attack will be a malware or many others. So it's a step-by-step process called as a defense in depth. You need or we need that level of detections in a real environment. How we can achieve that? The detection, it's coming with connecting the services. Here in the XDR, we have endpoint detection, which will manage your device detection protection, which are part of your organization. We have a user level detection, that is your user accounts, which are going to manage in your environment their identities. We have email and collaboration, which will take care about your email accounts detection, will be your phishing based email, your attachment, your link, and many more. And we have cloud application based detection. Where app is trying to do something, we will be able to monitor and manage those apps. So it's coming with a 4 area of detection. Your endpoints, your user, your Office 365, that is email, and cloud application. Again, it's not just giving you the idea about the endpoints, but it is also correlating the activities and giving you the broader idea what happened in any of these locations, correlating those activity patterns and highlighting the alerts as an incident. That merging the activities and giving you the broader information. So let's assume we have around 50 devices available in my environment where I'm looking for a device-based detection. Your device-based detection, it's coming like any kind of malware it's being executed, any kind of PowerShell script being executed, any command run, any files which I clicked, or any kind of ransomware pattern happen. All those kind of detections will come at the endpoint level. Here, connecting the endpoint with the XDR will start monitoring your endpoint pattern in the detail. Where two types of detection source coming into the picture, that is next generation antivirus, and we have EDR, that is endpoint detection and response feature. What is this next generation antivirus? It's like antivirus detection, virus-based detection. There are many detection sources available which will identify your virus-based pattern, their signatures, malware patterns, and many like that. Here, the XDR having the next generation antivirus, which is monitoring and identifying your dynamic pattern and behavior of the virus. And based on that, it is detecting a very advanced and critical virus-based activity. Once it is detected, it starts providing the alerts in the alerts section. where you can monitor and investigate. So that is one kind of detection will be as a detection source, that is antivirus detection, next generation antivirus, very advanced, understanding the behavior, how the malware will work, what this file is doing, their behavior monitorings are going to change or not. So it is understanding that malware pattern and detecting the parameters for all the endpoint device which you have connected. The second is the EDR, it's understanding the correlations. Any kind of pattern which is identified in a different machine or a group of machine, it will correlate those activity and giving you the idea what are those other devices or assets part of that particular attack process. So that level of detection will be helpful for SOC team to understand or to know what are the total coverage area targeted by the attacker or individual machine it's targeted. So EDR, it's more about correlating the activities, and next generation, it's about your malware or scripting based any virus which is executing in the machine will identify. So this kind of detection will critically monitor your endpoint device in a real-time manner, identifying all kind of patterns, and alerts will come like this. Those alerts we can check and analyze in more detail, where once the alerts generates, we will be able to see the detection source as highlighted here. This detection source will be helpful to know which particular service it's detecting and what kind of activities detected. Suppose any attacker performed the discovery, we can see it is in the discovery category. Someone perform the lateral movement, we will be get to know, okay, this is the technique used by the attacker, which is detected by the EDR. So all are the techniques, it's nothing but the step or the process performed by the attacker that also will be highlighted here in this portal. During the detection, we can also check what are those machines affected, what are those user accounts affected, when this detection happened, and is there any user accounts involved or not? Yeah, this one, a user. So assets, all kind of assets we can monitor. Going inside this will give you a more information about this particular detection like this. We can see a very good alert stories highlighted. This level of detection will be helpful to know when the attack initiated, what kind of commands being executed, and is it detected or not, or what's the severity of that particular activity. So your environment need your endpoint a thoroughly monitoring and detection like this as highlighted here in the tree. Let me take another alerts where multiple attacks involve. Well, let me go with the suspicious sequence. Some kind of activities performed here, where during the attack, many kind of files being executed on this particular time, right? One by one, a PowerShell command being executed where some suspicious activities identified. So it's not just about detecting which file it's involved, but it's more about identifying what kind of activities involved in this particular file. That is a real detection a SOC team need in the environment. So when I will open this PowerShell .exe where some kind of activities analyze, you can just click and it will give you more information. A suspicious sequence identified. This is detected, the severity is low, several types of informations highlighted where we have a detection technology. So many detection technology coming with the behavior analysis, will understanding the behavior of particular file. Several types of machine learning model running in the backend to understand that behavior pattern, and different networking parameters will get analyzed. Some detection will be like a correlation and a dynamic parameters of particular antivirus or the signature based. So this kind of detection technology helpful to detect advanced pattern in the organization. So here We discussed endpoint detection, like how the endpoint we can analyze here whenever something gets detected. But it's not just limited to endpoint machine. We need a detection for emails also. Because let's assume your machine is not directly compromised, but you receive some email and that email is having an attachment. Because you download that attachment, you open that file, and because of that, now your machine is compromised. So in this scenario, I need to detect email accounts based attack also along with my endpoint. So how we can get that? You need a thorough email analysis. Your system or your tool required to monitor all email based activities before email reaching into your environment. Because once it will come in your inbox, then something happen again, it is not in our control. So we need a detection a little advanced, we need a detection later also. For that, we have email and collaboration. Email and collaboration security you need in your environment to monitor all the email parameters, including who is sending, what kind of content being sent, what is there in the content, if it is the attachment or a link, and even though you have received the email, later on if any kind of malware is trying to compromise your environment, at that time also you need a detection. So it's not just getting the email before that, but after getting the email also, we need a continuous detection and monitoring. So your email and collaboration features will do this kind of work. It is working in a 4 different layer. The first layer it's edge. The second layer it's a sender. The third layer detection you need, that is a content. And the fourth you need, that is a post delivery. Why we need this kind of detection? The edge layer detection will take care about your several types of networking parameters, will be a networking throttling, your IP address throttling, and many more. We'll make sure when the email is coming into your environment, network layer based related parameters are protected, detected. If something happened wrong here, the actions will be taken. Even though the edge parameter is fine, everything is fine with the network, it's time to validate the sender. So we need a sender level detection. Who is sending this email? Is the right domain? Is the right sender whose email account it's mentioned or used? We need to thoroughly monitor and check all types of records related to that DNS, domains, and many other. To make sure the email which we are receiving in the organization, that sender who is sending the email, it's the right sender. Even though sender it's right, but what if that content it's not proper? The content it's having the problem. The content it's malicious, the link it's malicious, redirecting on the malicious page, that also creating the problem in your environment. So we need content level detection also. The content level detection will be helpful to identify the content. Like, is it the phishing based content? Is it the malware based attachment or malicious link or something like that? Or how that attachment will affect your environment. So content level detection will can check the content in some sandbox environment, can understand this behavior, can analyze, can identify, and then allow you to open the content in your environment once you will receive the email. So that level of detection we need in my environment to protect the emails, because email it's very common, it's a very common communication channel, and most of the emails usually have the links and the attachments. That is creating the problem if it is not proper. Even though the content and everything it's verified, we need a post delivery. What is this post delivery? Post delivery, it's once the email is received, you are able to see the email in your inbox. Many malware will start executing or performing the actions later on. Maybe after 10 days or 15 days, the design like that, they will start doing the impact in your environment later on. We cannot keep such areas open later on. because those 15 days, after 15 days activity can also affect my environment, can also create a problem. So we need a post-delivery detection. We'll make sure whatever the emails you have received are being monitored in the backend, and something happened wrong will be detected and actions will be taken. So that is the detection at email level we need in the organization. Here on the XDR, to detect this kind of parameters, we have a different threat policies. Going inside the policy area, this threat policy, it's critically monitoring all kind of layers in the environment, detecting a very advanced parameters, highlighting those detection in the Explorer where we can check what are those email accounts where malware involves or malicious URL identifier or many more, and then allowing you to take the actions manually and automatically. This policy is coming with many types of email-based activity policy like anti-phishing, anti-spam, anti-malware, safe attachment, and safe link. This is a very critical, right? We need a detection like a phishing kind of thing, a spoofing-based attack, a spam-based attack, a malware. This policy will be help you out to identify the email it's coming into this category, that is a phishing, spoofing, spam, malware. Based on that, will be helpful to set the threshold value. So whenever such a kind of activity initiated or identified is detecting suddenly in a real-time monitoring basis, and providing the information here in the Explorer. The safe attachment and safe links critically monitor your attachments. So before email receiving to your inbox, maybe that attachment will get first, it will run in the sandbox environment, will analyze the behaviors. If that attachment is correct, will reattach. Otherwise, it can block your email accounts, the sender's email account. Similarly, a link will give you a link-based analysis and monitoring will be your email-based links, your Teams-based links, wherever the link is coming, and the content also, identifying the malicious pattern and allowing you to access it. So that level of protection, detections, we need the environment where email and collaboration will be helpful to achieve, or mostly a social engineering-based attack related to the email. So once it is done, you can go into the Explorer area. You can explore all kind of emails where a malware involves, right? A phishing involves, URLs which are clicked by the user. And then you can see what are those user accounts, who is involved in this activity. Now, if because of email, I download the attachment and I run the file in my endpoint machine, and because of my endpoint it's compromised, that whole process will get correlated, and that correlation will start appearing inside the incident section, saying that here are two types of areas involved, and because of email, your device is compromised, that a detailed analysis you can do. So that is a capability of XDR. Correlating the alerts, mapping the alerts, and highlighting here on a single dashboard. That is extended detection and response. The XDR do have its Titan algorithm, a machine learning algorithm, AI running in the backend, analyzing this type of attacks in several locations, correlating and giving you a broader area. So we discuss a two surface area of detection, that is endpoints and email and collaboration. Now let's talk about user accounts. We all have the users created. If you are using a cloud-based environment, you might have your users created on the cloud-based services like Azure or AWS, right? Cloud-based user identities which are created. Or if you have on-premises environment, you will have Active Directory running, and there your users are created and roles are assigned. The user, it's one of the critical area targeted by the attacker because the user's accounts do have the roles and access and permissions. That's why we should have a limited access and permissions on the privilege account. That is what Zero Trust second principle saying. We cannot keep the user open. We also need to monitor the user-based activity in terms of their sign-in patterns, their credentials are compromised or not, and many more. For that, we have identity services on the XDR. You also need any other service like this to monitor cloud and on-premises. Now, this identity call is a defender for identity, a monitor all three types of user accounts in the environment. One, it's the cloud users, which are monitored and managed on the cloud environment totally. The second, it's on-premises, where your Active Directory running in your environment. Their logs and activities will be monitored. And the users, which are hybrid and synchronized between these two, will also get monitored and threat detection will be happening. So it's covering all types of user accounts for the monitoring purpose. Here, what detection will be done? So let's assume the on-premises user. Let's assume you have Active Directory, the domain controller service, ADDS, ADFS, etc. Now, you want to monitor that ADDS related logs to know a lateral movement, to know a reconciliation activity pattern, or to know a domains. You can connect your Active Directory. Based on that, that sensor will start fetching the logs from the Active Directory and providing those logs on the XDR. The XDR will understand who is involved, is there any kind of involvement with the endpoint or any other assets, and giving you a very good information inside the incident to know the overall attack scenario. So you need to connect those particular services with the XDR, where easily we can connect the Active Directory. Going inside the settings, it's a very small sensor required to deploy in the Active Directory will start monitoring your on-premises servers and providing the detections against the list of attacks here inside the alerts. So there are a list of alerts provided where you will be able to see the detections on all those alerts. Some of them are related to LDAP, some of related to ADFS, DKM keys, right? Any brute force attack happened, the Kerberos level or NTLM, you will be able to get the suspected brute force attack detection, suspected DC sync attack, golden ticket attack, many types of attacks, pass the ticket, different types of detections are possible to manage or to get here on this environment, connecting the Active Directory. So it's just a sensor required to deploy in the domain controller. Once you will deploy, install, and run the sensor, will make the connectivity with the XDR, sharing the logs, and identifying the alerts, detecting and providing the alerts and incidents in this location. Here. For your user accounts, which are on cloud-based, not on-premises, manage on the intra environment, right, on the Azure environment. For those user accounts, we have again a detection where all the users are automatically covered. The user signing and user risk will be calculated, highlighted on the portals, and user risk will be managed or provided as a detection inside the alert section. So once you will visit the alerts, you will be able to see a user information also. Like, let me open this. Compromise account conducting hands-on keyboard attack. And here, whenever you will open, you will be able to see what are those user accounts involved. So you can open a specific attack and it will give you a broader information about those users involved. Just scroll down and all the user details will come. You can click the user and see what is this user, what type of user, it's admin or what is this username, many other policies if it is enabled. So very good informations you can detect like MFA status, last password change or not, what type of MFA it's enabled or not. So protection parameters, user threat parameters will get analyzed. Any risk involved, like their credentials are compromised, leaked on the dark web, available on the dark web, Someone is trying to activate the user account like a malware IP, or a location it's coming a different day. All kind of risk will be identified and mapped on the XDR. So for security operation team, it will be very easy to know what is the detection at what level, including the risk, alerts, and many other parameters. Right? So this will always be there for your cloud-based user in the backend. We don't need to do anything. If you want to monitor the users in the detail, all the users will highlight here in the identity section. And inside the identity, we can select the user and get the more information about the dedicated user where the detection involved. So this will come with the incidents and alerts involve and identify any attack path, identify any kind of observation is there in the organization in terms of location change, in terms of any device observation. Here, it will be detected and highlighted like this. So a small to small activities will be highlighted on the portal that actually we need for the user account. The another detection it's coming, that is application. They're very important. We have many applications running in the endpoint. The marketing team using a XYZ application to create the marketing content for generating a particular online content for the social media posting, right? The sales team will use a different types of application to do the office related tasks and many more. We have thousands of applications being used in the environment. Some of the applications even we are not aware which are used by the employees. Like plagiarism, I report we can consider for university, or let's take comparison kind of application which will give a comparison of two different documents online freely, or many others. Converting into Word to PDF, PDF to Word, many kind of apps are there. How we will get to know this app it's good for my organization or not? Because if those applications are malicious and you downloaded something or you perform some actions, that app will start taking the advantage and performing several types of malicious activity in the backend. So a fourth coverage area, a very important, it's coming, that is our application coverage. Nowadays, generative AI applications are increasing day by day. You need that Gen AI based coverage also. How the chat GPTs are being used, or a co-pilot being used, right, in the environment. How the people are using it, what kind of prompt they are asking, all kind of monitoring and analysis we need. So here, CashB solutions coming in the picture, which will be helpful for monitoring and detecting very critical parameters related to app, like small to small malicious activity and malicious behavior. You can connect your app with the CashB solution, and CashB solution will start analyzing security logs and user activity logs with the application. So just connect the app. It will give you the user activity logs to the XDR, and XDR will now start providing the traffic information based on the logs analysis. What kind of risky traffic or usual traffic will get analyzed? Who is using, you can detect that. What are the IP addresses involved using that application, you can also detect, and the list of applications used in the environment. So it's more about controlling the shadow IT services in my environment with the help of CashB solution. Once my app will get connected, I can see the risk level like this, saying that in my environment, there is some high risk involved, high and medium, right? Rest all are the low level risks, around 2.9 GB kind of traffic generated, where this is for 137 MB, it's a medium risk based traffic, 15 MB it's a high risk based traffic, and low risk it's 5.7 GB. So this is how the risk based traffic analysis we are getting. That risk it's what? The risk is the activity which is involved with the interaction, application interaction. You need also a shadow IT control to protect your environments before something happened wrong. We have a catalog will give you the risk score, and this risk score will be helpful to protect your environment in the advance. And related to this app where the score is low, you can block such applications and you can protect it. So there are many things where application level we can manage once the application will be connected. After connecting the app, we do have several policies available. Those policies will be helpful to identify different types of threats and information-based activities. The threat detection, it's like detecting the malicious pattern, like a ransomware activity involved in the app, any kind of risky IP address trying to access my application. I want to check that. I want to check any kind of inbox manipulation happen or not. I want to check any kind of risky auth application involved, mass download happen, any kind of malicious, unusual activities related to the application. I can detect with the help of threat detection policy. The threat detection policy coming with the activity and the auth policy, where activity, it's monitor all kind of activity which we actually need, and auth will target your auth application. So what detection here we can manage or we should manage? Let's go here, and there are many filters. We can detect the activity based on the types, like who created the files or who deleted some kind of files where the application is involved, or many more. We can identify the detection based on the applied actions, in which device it is running, file or folder level access, the IP who is trying to access the application, impersonate activity involved or not, location changed or not for accessing the app, and many more. So it's the overall detection for the application-based activities here. We can set up all those filters, and setting up the filters will start detecting and generating the alerts. So all the alerts again will start appearing here inside the alerts area. If many assets involved, like devices and email accounts, you can map and relate inside the incidents, where an app will be highlighted. We do have information-based detection, that is information protection policy. This will be helpful to know if any application sharing confidential data outside. I have some credit card files. XYZ app, it's trying to access that file and sharing that information outside the organization with command and control center. With the help of this information protection policy, I can detect and I can take the actions. So that is more about database detection activity where the application is involved. So all those policies will generate the alerts, taking the actions, and providing the protection in your environment. Shadow IT, it's another policy, will identify and detect who is using risky application in my environment. We need that level of detection also, to know who is using risky app, so that application we can block in the advance and will not create the problem in my environment. The Shadow ID app will discover and detect those kind of applications based on such activities with respect to the risk score and their malicious pattern, and generating the alerts and providing the details. So this kind of detection we need at the application level to cover the application surface area. So these are the four major surface area where the environment usually need to take care. Their correlations and individual detection. It's coming with this kind of policies where we can analyze the malwares, we can analyze the malicious pattern, we can analyze the behaviors, monitoring, locations-based analysis, and many kind of analysis will come into the picture to get the right detection as highlighted in the alerts. All the assets related activities which are correlated will start appearing in the incident, where now we can understand the whole attack pattern. You can open the incident area, coming with the attack story. And this attack story will cover your detection coverage. This will give you the information where the activity initiated, what's the first activity performed, that last activity time, and how many alerts involved. So let's assume I downloaded some file from the emails, and because of that, machine compromised, user compromised, and now some data shared outside. A straightforward ransomware activity. It will correlate all those activities, the detections, and that detection coverage will be highlighted here inside the attack story, like this. So this graph will be helpful to know all the environment detection coverage. All the alerts will get placed into the proper sequence where we can run, and it will give you the idea when the detection initiated first, second, third, and many more. It will run the alerts one by one and adding those parameters in the graph, like 2 more added, 3 more added, many more. So this is how this will be helpful to know the SOC team to know all the detection coverage area inside the incident graph. So that is how the attack story will be helpful. Whatever it's detected, right, the assets which are involved will start appearing like this, where one device is involved, one user is involved in this activity. Here also we can check individual parameters. What is this device? What is this user and their risk? It's also providing several types of evidence which are identified during this detection. So you also need this kind of detection where the process is involved. You should know what are those processes, how many IP address involved in this activity, which file it's malware being executed in the backend, or particular URL which is malicious one. So all the individual parameters as evidence will be identified. Like let's open processes. Whenever the attack performs, it's detected those kind of processes considered as suspicious. You can open and it will give you more information. What is this process name, the tagline indicating it's suspicious as it's detected, right? Execution time. If any virus total detection ratio identified, it will highlight here. If malware is detected, will be highlighted here, and many file related informations. So this will give you more about process related data whenever it is detected. We do have IP address based, file based, where we can check a particular file which is executed. So we can see here it's attack script.ps1, which I executed to simulate the attack. And here it's detecting it's a malware. It's a Trojan downloader malware, right? And because of this malware, some attack initiated in the environment where the 2 incidents involved. So this will give you all evidence related informations in detail. You can also check where this file is located in any of the machine. The machine which is connected of your employees, you can check, yes, this is the location of file path where the attacker script.ps1 is located. Now I can take the actions accordingly, or any kind of other access required to do. I will be able to do that easily because the location it's highlighted here, file path. You can check more with the hash value if you want to test with other services. We are getting the hash value. If you want to block, you can block with the help of hash value. Many kind of things are possible. Here we will be able to get whenever the activity detected. Similarly, it will be for URL also. Like this is the URL, right? This is identified, it's a malicious one, but there is no threats involved by tricks. But we can check again the domain information, their registrant, register or expire, and many other. So for a small to small activity, this evidence will again highlight it separately for the analysis purpose. So this is more about a threat detection, detecting the threats using a different types of policy, machine learning models, artificial intelligence, and several types of rules which will cover your several surface area and giving you the broader view on the XDR, extended detection and response. Now, what about the response? We covered the detection, all the parameters where we can investigate. But what about response? Just detecting it's not sufficient. We need a response also. And a response must be automated. If it is manual, will definitely take time. If something is detected, now you are manually analyzing and then you will decide, okay, now I need to disable this user account. It's a time-taking process, right? It should be done automatically in the backend because automation always work faster, reducing the efforts and giving you a proper outcome. So here on the XDR, we have a both type of response which we can manage. One, it's automated response where XDR is having its own capability to handle the automated task without any kind of admin interval that we need actually in the environment. But whenever any tool is not taking any kind of response, something it's identifying, response it's not taken, you also need to have the access or rights to take the actions against those detection. So we have a both manual and automated approach. How the automated it's working? XDR having its own capability. Whenever the detection happens, it is taking the actions automatically. So here one of the example it's taking like attack disruption. Attack disruption, it's a feature of the XDR, taking the automated response and the actions whenever advanced detection happens. So some of the attacks are performed here, like its hands-on keyboard attack was launched. When XDR involved, you are automatically getting the notification like this, attention, detect disruption initiated, multiple response action. Several types of actions will be taken automatically in the backend that you can go into the activity tab, see that activity, and see the actions inside the action center. So this is an automated task. We didn't do anything to set up this. This is automatically taken. Whatever the actions performed or initiated or investigation done to take this action, we can check inside the investigation. Because the investigation initiated automatically, something is detected and identified, that's why it's required to take the action. The whole process you can understand inside the investigation. So let's take the one of the investigation here, like process injection. This investigation graph will be helpful to know the detection along with the results. So this results will be helpful to know any actions initiated from XDR or not. If user account disabled, it will start providing the details here. If malware file is blocked, it will start providing inside the entities in a specific location. So this will be helpful to know the remediation process. Response process, automated response. But how we can control or we can manage the manual response? I want to decide, do I need to disable the user? Do I need to block the user account? Because many times it happens, some legitimate activity initiated and the tool start blocking the services, tool start blocking the files, tool will start removing the user access, something like that. For some of the services or for some of the devices, I need to decide and I want to control that. We do have option here for this kind of manual actions. So you can go into the setting inside the endpoint for device where the response it's required to take. We have a remediation level here. So remediation level will be helpful to take several types of actions. One, it's automatically, that is full. And second, that is semi, where you can control. There are three options given. You can manage all the folders where without allowing XDR. You can decide, do we want to perform any actions or not for all the folders. That is a SAMI approach. Detection will be happen, but whenever the actions are required or response are required to take, it will ask for your approval first. You can go with the SAMI for non-temporary folders. For temporary folder, it's fine. I don't want to delay for the temporary folder. If any activity happen, XDR can take the actions or can respond. But for the temporary folders, I need to decide. So you can go with the SAMI approach here. You can go with the system folders. Like I don't want to allow XDR to touch my system related files where I need to take the actions. We have a response remediation level here, SAMI, for the system folders only. And you do have option where you can go with a fully remediation where XDR is taking everything, something it's happened, detected, actions will be taken automatically, like we check here in the first incident. So it is up to you how you want to manage the responses and automation in your environment. Now, it was related to device. We have similar kind of actions for user accounts also. So when you feel some user accounts are detected but not marked as a malicious or actions are not taken. During the investigation, you observe some of the user accounts involved in the activity and that you want to manually identify and you want to take the actions, you can go into the identities. It will give you a list of all the user accounts. Sorry, go to the assets, identities, and it will allow you to take several manual actions on those user accounts. Select, and it is coming with the list of automated manual actions here. So it will come like manually you can disable user, you can enable user, you can do several settings, you can revoke the session. Many kind of actions are possible to do manually on individual user accounts with help of this. You can mark as a compromised also. Automated XDR will always take care in doing such a task, but if you want to go with manual, we do have option for the cloud application where any application involved in this activity, the list of app will start appearing. Select the app and there are several app level actions available. So it is helping you to manage your application, your identities, your devices where you can control whenever you want. Otherwise, automated response will always be there, and those kind of automated response usually we need in the environment without or our less interval to take the actions faster. That all we will be able to check inside the investigation graph, going inside the incidents, select the investigation and analyzing. So can you see this is terminated by system, where it was waiting for the user approval, but I think some approval it's not provided. So process it's terminated by system. Similarly, any file it's blocked by the XDR, you will start getting the information like this. XYZ process is blocked, files blocked. Those kind of automated response will start appearing. So that is inside the investigation and the response. Second, it is also allowing you to get the notification about those kind of actions taken automatically in the backend. So you can manage such a notification about such a kind of activities where you can go into the XDR and we have an email notification on the actions. So it's not just about taking the response, but also help you out to notifying those kind of actions taken. You can add the notification rules, and we have several types of actions highlighted. One type that is automated action where XDR is responsible and taking it. Second, it's a manual response where you did some kind of activity. So for automated task, we have a list of actions here. All kind of actions XDR can manage automatically for different services. Like for cloud application, it can disable and enable the app. For endpoints, it can quarantine the drivers, it can quarantine the files, it can release the files also automatically. Any services can be quarantined, any processes can be stopped. These are the list of automated actions that XDR can manage. For user account, XDR can disable, enable the user account or suspend the user also if advanced detection identify on those user. And for the emails, we have a soft delete email, which will delete the email in the soft delete section, where admin can get back the email again. So these are the automated actions. You can just select it and whatever it's completed or failed, set up and select the recipient user account, which will start providing the notification on a regular basis. If you have initiated any action, will be a manual one. We do have a list of all the manual actions. So what you can manage as a manual? The same things which automatically possible, you can manage manual also. Along with many more, like isolate the device, taking live response, offboard the device, and many other. In the office, we have many kind of automate manual actions available, like move to the inbox, move to the junk box, delete the file permanently, like hard delete, process the password reset, and many other actions we can perform whenever something is detected. So you can set up such actions and select the action status and notify on your account. We check for identities, we check for devices, we check for application. Now let's check for the email also. In email, to perform such actions manually, we have Explorer section where you can respond on this email. So Explorer will give you the list of all the emails where some of the response or actions you want to perform. Now, during the investigation, you analyze this is the email account where something went wrong and there is attachment or link that is malicious. Now, here you want to perform some actions, right? You can come, you can open particular email, you can analyze all kind of detections here, including URLs involved, authentication parameters, and many more. And there is option that is take the action. Just take the actions, it's coming with many kind of response actions. Right, there are 4 types of actions. So first is move or delete. Whenever it is going with automated action, XDR will move your emails into the soft delete at this level where admin can get back that email. But when you are manually performing and responding in terms of actions, we have many more, including the hard delete. The hard delete is permanent delete. The soft delete, it's still admin can access that data. The delete item, it's the delete or recycle bin or trash, which you are able to see in your inboxes, in your mail. And inbox, it's your actual email. So when you are deleting, it will be here. When you are deleting your email from the trash or delete folder, it will come here, where admin can still check. And if admin is deleting, it will be in the hard delete process. Or the last one, it's moving into the junk. So based on the analysis and investigation, You can also take several types of response actions on the email account. Second, we have option to submit Microsoft for review. You feel this is the email compromised and you want more analysis. What kind of email it is? You want to send to the Microsoft for better review, like please check, review it and get back to us. Is it actually a malicious one or it's a claim? So whenever during the investigation you feel something, you can submit to the Microsoft where we have 4 options. Appear suspicious, appear clean, confirm clean, and mark as a threat. Will be helpful for Microsoft team to understand what you are looking for and analyzing the data and providing the information. So that action also we can do. We have a manual automated investigation that we can initiate at email level for recipient account, on sender account, and for the content recipient. That actions are also possible to manage. We'll initiate the investigation manually when you will start the process. And propose the response will create a new remediations for the approval, what you want to do with that email. So these are the several response actions. Going inside the email on particular email account, you can take and you can initiate the task. It will be again a manual actions. Now, for endpoint, we discussed a little, but there are some other actions available. So you can go into the endpoint like devices, and selecting the device will give you a list of more actions, including isolate the device. So when you feel this is the high risk level, there are some advanced attack initiated, but it is not isolated by the XDR. You can also isolate going inside the actions here. This isolate device will isolate the machines, allowing user with the limited access, allowing security team to analyze and to respond on those issues, right? To investigate those particular issue and to resolve this particular problem. So we have some additional actions available going inside the device, like one of the very good, that is isolate the device. Second, initiating the automated investigation if it is not initiated, running the antivirus scan manually, you validate the parameters, collecting the investigation package for investigation purpose. So on the attack detection, how you want to react manually. Here we have many actions, including the exclude. If you want to delete, if you want to remove this machine, you can also go with the exclude. So all those things will be helpful to take the manual task. That manual task, you can go inside the sites, select the appropriate sites, and each and every sites coming with the action page, allowing you to take it. So this is how the threat detections and response will be done on the security center, that is M365 Defender, called as extended detection and response. Here we discussed several types of scenarios related to the endpoints, email collaboration, cloud application, and identities. But if you have other services connected, like your cloud-based services for the cloud workload, if you have IoT devices or OT device services connected in your environment, and if you have a networking devices connected in your environment, right, it is also covering those level of coverage, identifying those OT and IoT related issues, and again highlighting the same kind of issues here inside the incident and alert. So it's not just limited to this 4 areas, but It's a many more where cloud and OT services will also get covered. Generative AI coverage will automatically come inside the cloud application for a multi kind of application. So you can go into the catalog, connect your application, will be a chat GPT or will be a copilot or many other. We have those connectors available. Let me show you. Going inside the cloud app, click the cloud app, get the connectors, app connectors, and this connectors will be helpful to monitor your applications. So just connect the connectors, it will fetch the logs, start detecting the issues related to those particular application and will be highlighted here inside the cloud discovery location as a risky traffic. So including the Gen AI, overall coverage will get covered here. Hope you enjoy this webinar and get a little idea about the detection and response at what level usually we need in the environment. We discussed with respect to XDR, but it can be any of the solution where this kind of detection usually we need. Thank you for joining today. Have a nice day.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel for more such videos.